Obviously, this is a big day for Kraken. What's your outlook on growth in the U.S. given the extreme and high interest in crypto right now?
Obviously, it's a super hot market right now, and in the United States is a huge market. So we're really excited to finally offer a retail product to the market. Our Pro app has been available for a while, but this really completes the package for us in the United States. It allows people to buy directly from their bank account and sell directly into their bank account. So that's a huge convenience for people. It's something that people have been asking for a long time. So we think the opportunity in the United States is awesome, and we've been super successful with it in the rest of the world. So we're just planning for more success here.
The story of the last couple of months, though, has been volatility, Jesse. You told us Bitcoin would go to infinity, $1 million in the next decade, or, this was my favorite quote from you, one Lambo, or about $200,000 before the end of the year. Do you think it's still going to get there?
I stand by that. So look, you can buy a forward delivery of a Lambo now at a discount at a cheap $37,000. Lots of people are buying the dip. Personally, I'm Googling like how to sell my kidneys at this point. Turns out it's illegal. So much for my body, my choice. But look, like I think, people are getting ready to go on to ramen diets to buy Bitcoin at these levels. I think that, just everything that's happening in Miami right now, the excitement around the space is so hot. I think people just see this growing massively. So not worried about this little dip. We've seen this over and over. Crypto's a roller coaster. You got to be able to have an iron stomach to tolerate the ride, but the gains are massive for those who can handle it.
Okay, but is going on a ramen diet a wise idea? I mean, I thought people were only supposed to invest what they could really afford to lose.
Absolutely. Don't invest anything more than you can afford to lose. Don't gamble your rent on Bitcoin. Look, the price is up and down 50% in any given week. So you've really got to be able to think about this investment and hold for 5 to 10 years. Don't think about this as a week-to-week swing trade. People absolutely should not be betting any more than they can afford to lose. It's still a very risky investment. But obviously over time, if you look at the chart, 10 years ago, Bitcoin was trading at $1. Today, $36,000. Still year over year, it's up 200+%. So long-term, it's an absolutely fantastic investment from my point of view. I absolutely would not put 100% of my portfolio into Bitcoin, or I would not put my rent money into Bitcoin.
And definitely not your food money. We don't want people trying to survive on cup of noodle, okay? I want to ask you about Elon Musk in particular, because he has had some incredible influence on the ups and downs here. And I wonder how you feel about one individual having that much power.
Yeah, it's really interesting to see the reactions to to one person's tweets and what that can have on the market. I mean, I think it just goes to show that the power of memes is real, and that people are increasingly looking toward sort of non-traditional figures to get investment advice from. I think we've realized that we can't trust the guys that are running the system now. And so who else is smart out there and seems visionary and seems to have the interest of humanity at heart? And those guys have proven to be more trustworthy. So, I certainly wouldn't be making fundamental decisions about my investments from one person's tweets. But, I think if you look at crypto as a whole, you develop a thesis, you can kind of weather these market reactions to tweets and memes and even regulators, saying things. We're constantly hearing there's always some country in the world that's like banning Bitcoin for a few days and then unbanning it, a week later. So once you have your kind of fundamental thesis, I think that those things are much more subdued and you can just write it out. The people that I think don't really understand what's happening and are just kind of along for the ride are the ones that are reacting to these kinds of tweets.
Curious what your fundamental thesis is, given we haven't had major regulatory action in the U.S., but that Biden's SEC has indicated some sort of regulation is coming.
Look, I think clear regulation will actually open the floodgates. I don't see it as squashing Bitcoin by any means, or the crypto ecosystem broadly. I think that there are a lot of huge players waiting on the sidelines, pension funds, other large investors that are just waiting for that stamp of approval, that level of certainty, where there's a lot of gray area now. People just don't know how the regulators are going to treat this. And so they're just in this wait and see mode. And we don't have any indication that there's going to be like a crushing blow to the ecosystem. And All of the large players are already fully regulated. So it's nothing new for us. I think just additional clarity would be really helpful.
What are your plans at this point to go public? Do you have bankers on board? Are you thinking about a SPAC or a DL or an IPO?
Yeah, we don't have we're probably not going to do a SPAC. I think we're too large for a SPAC. We're looking at second half of next year. We're in a readiness, preparation mode right now. We'll decide later if we really want to pull the trigger on it. Obviously, things have been weaker than expected for another recent crypto company direct listing. So, whether we go the path of direct listing or an IPO, I think is yet to be decided, or even to stay private as an option. I think the markets don't really understand the value of these businesses right now, and they may not understand the value until it's really too late and we fully replaced sort of the legacy systems.
You're referencing, obviously, Coinbase's direct listing there. I mean, does that make the picture murkier for you? Has that impacted Kraken's valuation?
I think there are a lot of things that are driving the price down. I think personally it's undervalued right now. And I think it's because it's just new. They did a direct listing, so there were no lockups. It's very different from an IPO process. The street still doesn't really know, how to take the management's forecasts, whether to treat it as conservative or aggressive. There's not much analyst coverage yet. I think, and I think a lot of people just still don't have the vision. They don't see what's coming with crypto. And I think if they did, Bitcoin would already be at $1 million plus a coin. So I think it's just sort of a reflection of the overall sentiment of the space and the lack of awareness about what's coming. And, I think it'll be just like it was with the internet, like there'll be people that just don't get it until it's too late. I think there are a lot of things sort of at play with the price of the coin stock. And we look at that, as a comp, and we try to understand, why is this so undervalued right now? And, we think there are a bunch of things that go into that, but it hasn't deterred us from our path, and we'll make the call when we're ready to pull the trigger on the listing.